The FM22 beta is out and draft mode's in it. Let's go check it out. Hi, I'm Samadju. Welcome to the channel. Give me a subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you give this video a nice thumbs up so that if you like it, I'll make more of them. But we're going to check out a quick look on the new draft mode, see what they've added, see what they've put into FM22 drafts. Okay, loading them up is the same way, so we're just going to go into the fantasy draft mode here and have a look. We're going to want to create a draft because we're going to do a custom one. That seems to load a lot quicker. So you notice this year there is no waiting while it changes your skin. That was something that took forever last year. Now you notice along the top here we've got a couple of different formats now. We have League and Knockout. Those were the same as last year. League is only 2 to 20 teams. I think that was 2 to 32 last year, but I can't remember. But the Knockout you can go up to 32 teams, so you can see. But you can also do this group stage and Knockout. We will come back to that in a second. You can change your competition name as per last year. You can add in the player pools exactly the same as last year. So these things have not changed, but there is a caveat to this player pool thing. So normally the world pool is the default one. I think it has 6,000 players last year, probably around 6,000 players this year. It used to say, actually, it used to tell you that's something that is missing this year. But you can see that you can do a variety of different nationalities, countries they're based in, leagues, etc. So let's just put it on Knockout, which we could normally have. So we can have, as per last year, change the name. The budget, look at this. How nice is this? They're in nice numbers. No 411 million, no 321 million. Now it's all in increments of 25. I do question why it only goes down to 50, which is a little bit annoying. Let's say you wanted to do a League 1 or a League 2 draft, or a really cheap bargain draft. But 50 million is actually a bit better than the 100 million it was last year, and you can go up from there, and you can actually go all the way up to 700 million this year as well, which gives you a much wider range. And there's this button here, unlimited. You can just forget the budget and go with that. So that's kind of nice. And then we got these advanced settings. So some of these have changed a little bit. You can change your shortlisting time, with that's new. It used to be set to 5 minutes, but now you can set it anywhere between 1 and 10 minutes. The draft round times, these are the same, but I mean these are always useful. Two-legged ties you can turn on or off. That applies to the cup ties. So if you go to league mode, you won't get it. You can instead get the mid-term draft in league mode. That was also there last year. And you can change how many matches against teams. It's a shame this one only goes down to 2 still. I would have liked that one to go down to 1, where you just play a single round robin. Because it's interesting, actually, I will come back to this group stage and knockout. Because what happens in this is that two-legged tie only applies to the knockout stages. So you can do 2 groups of 4, 4 groups of 4, or 8 groups of 4. So you can go anywhere between 8, 16, and 32 teams in group stage and knockout. The problem with it is you have to have exactly that number of players. So it's not like knockout where players get buys, or it's not like league where players get, they'll have a bye week if you've got an odd number, but if you've got an even number, everyone will have a game. In this one, you have to have the exact number of teams. So it's either 8, 16, or 32. So we come back to the knockout one. Actually, it doesn't really matter which one. We go to more here. This is new. You can change the number of yellows required for a suspension. You can set it to 1. I mean, that seems very harsh. I don't think I would ever take Sergio Ramos if it was 1. But I might change it to 3 on some of mine. Take some of those more aggressive players who pick up their yellows a little bit. If you're playing like a knockout competition, 3 might be a bit nicer. I don't know. Maybe you want 2, maybe you want 1. But the optionality there is nice. The other one here is the VAR. VAR is improved this year, as you might have seen. But just having the optionality to turn it on and off is nice. From there, you've got, who can join. That's the same as always. You can set your password. And that's about it for in the setup here. But when we go to next, this is where things start to get interesting in the new one. We're just going to create the database in the world pool. Okay, that took about 20 to 30 seconds. That was a little bit longer than I expected, but it wasn't too bad. I think it normally takes that anyway. So I've got in with a 50 million budget in the world pool. Shortlist 5 minutes, round picks 1 minute. But this is new. This whole page is new. So what you can do here, you can add restrictions to that. So let's say you only want the only players that can be picked. I mean, you can do nationality anyway, so let's not do nationality. You can do position, right? You can only pick midfielders. For the whole time, you can only pick midfielders. Or, you can do or. And, I mean, you probably won't have any players if you did this. So you want to be a little bit careful. But let's say you can only pick players from certain positions. Up here, you can see where it says all picks. That means that it's going to apply to every single one. You'll see underneath my head when I move my head. Let me move my head a second. Now I'm over here. You can see it says number of eligible players, 1,339. Let's jump back over. Okay, that's much better. Right. So we can change the positions. You can do age. Let's say you want to do like an Olympic style draft under 23s. So you can add all these different things, height as well, value. So you can make it so. I mean, if you didn't want to do, if you wanted to do the budget draft, but you couldn't set it for less than 50 million, you could add the value one in and set it as a max of 1 million. So you can only do players under 1 million. The other thing you can do here is you can press the range button. So every 5 picks, you can change what that stipulation is, which could be interesting. You could force that in the first 5 picks, you must pick your keepers and defenders. The 6th to 10th picks, you must pick your midfielders and strikers. Or you could do in the first 5 picks only English players, and in the 6th to 10th pick, only players over the age of 24. You could do all kinds of mad stuff with that. So that's kind of new. It's sort of built on top of the other filters that you have in the world pool. So you have to load in all the players first that you want from the countries that you want. The world pool has quite a lot. And then the world pool is 6,512 this year. But then you can add these extra restrictions on each pick. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it for... Actually, tell you what. Let's give it a go. You can only pick English players in the first 5 picks. And there's only 286 of them. That's going to make it a little bit more tricky. I'm going to make my manager. Here's a quick preview of what my manager looked like when I tried to use the face cam thing. I don't think that's working quite the same as last year. You can set your kit. Okay, my manager is in the game. And now I'm going to want to invite some friends or get some extra people in. You can see the details along the top as previously. Interestingly, it says 6,007 players in the player pool, whereas a minute ago it said 6,500. There is this button down in the corner as well, which is reverse order each round. So if you want to reverse the order each round, you can tick that. The other button you can notice here is the draft order. So I can set myself number 1, or I can put it to random. So if you want, you can set someone as the first pick. I don't have any friends, so I'm going to have to invite some AI managers. Who should we get in? Oh, there we go. Thursday Night Fantasy Football co-host Tony Jameson. It's loaded in 2 people. Who else should we get in? Let's get someone else. Who we got? Dr. Benjy. There we go. Mr. Dr. Benjy himself. Mr. Dr. Benjy? Mr. Dr. Benjy. And that'll do. I'm going to set Benjy at number 3. I'm going to be number 1. And we can go. So here we are in the shortlisting phase. One thing you'll notice, transfer value is over here on the right. You have the players, you can hover over them. It's a slightly new skin for this mode this year, but fundamentally it works the same. There are a couple of differences. So the player values I've noticed are worked out slightly differently. They're a bit more balanced towards, you're not going to find as many bargains this year. They're a bit more balanced towards what you can expect. And as you can see right here, if I go to freebies, there are none. There are no freebies. So players who have no amount, they still have a value. So Jack Wilshere, for example, if you saw my YouTube short yesterday, Jack Wilshere has a value of, I mean, this doesn't work very well on the white, but he's a value of 2.5 million. You can see it over here, in fact. So Jack Wilshere has a value of 2.5 million, even though he's available on a free transfer in the main game. So it assigns a value, a bit like a transfer marked value to them, just so that every player, you know, not getting ridiculous freebies. But it does mean that a lot of players, there were some other ones, for example, Ezzy Konza last year was very cheap. This year he's up at 12 million. Christopher Ayer last year was very cheap. Again, he's going to be up at 14 million. Christopher Ayer, there goes around 14 million. They've given these players little bits of boosts, but it's more balanced in terms of how they bring them in. Just found a bargain. Gonna hide him again. Okay, so I think I'm ready. I'm ready. Done with my shortlisting. I can have my shortlist. You can import your shortlists in as same as before. So we're ready. I've got first pick because I said I wanted first pick, and you'll notice now that it is only loaded in the English players. So I can only pick right now for these first 5 picks from the English players. There's a couple of them at Roma, isn't there? Tammy Abraham's here somewhere as well. Tammy Abraham at Roma. We did get Roma. If you're interested, come watch me over on twitch.tv/Slimaggio. We got Roma in a mystery show. This was last year's mystery show. We had Juve. So we seem to be picking up a little collection of Italian shirts along with the Palermo main save we did last year. So come check that out over on Twitch. So who shall I go for first? I'll tell you what, I do like the look of Marcus Rashford this year. Although I've just remembered we've got a 50 million budget, so maybe not Marcus Rashford. I'm going to go for one of my bargain favourites. And I'm going to do some bargain videos on this channel. So make sure you subscribe if you want to catch more of those. But I'm going to grab Rob Holding. For 4.5, he's a pretty good pick. Notice now he's gone red, but it does not say, interestingly, does not say that I have picked him. So you can see this year now is nowhere does it say owned by me, which is different to last year. You can of course go to your current squad and see them there. Just going to have a very quick look at the goalkeepers and see if we can get Fraser Forster, who tends to be pretty good. Yes, we like Fraser Forster, except for the fact he plays for Southampton. Oh, and we're on the double pick. So you have to tick the reverse order if you want it the same as last year, it seems. Okay, let's get a right back. Who can we get as a right back? We want someone relatively cheap. James Tavernier. How about Adam Smith? Adam Smith, perhaps Nathaniel Klein. Nathaniel Klein looks decent this year. Can't be picking all these Southampton players. This is going to kill me.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
Okay, Dr. Benjy and Tony Jameson are picking their teams. I wonder why Tony's team is called DC Presidents. I must ask him about that. If you know, feel free to drop a answer in the comments. And then I need to remember that it is going to open up after the 5th round. So when it comes back around to my pick now, here we go, look. I have the full selection right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use the auto pick this round to show you the new animation that they've put in on that. So let's check out the auto pick. Do I want to auto pick? Yes. Here we go. Reveal. Tom Davies. It's giving me an English player anyway. We've got Tom Davies. I think he's the Everton player, right? Ah, so now it's changed the club to me. I wonder why it didn't do that for Rob Holding. So it replaces the club that they're at with your club. For some reason, Rob Holding's still at Arsenal here. But, oh no, it's just changed. It's just changed. Okay, that might be a bug. Oh, it's my pick again. Auto pick. Who do we get this time? Gavi. 950k. Need to check him out. Okay, something else you can do this year, which you weren't able to do in previous years, is up at this corner here, there's a pause button, which the host has, and you can pause it. You can sit, you can cheat and make your picks. Now, if someone needs to take a break, or you need to stop, or you want to pause the draft, you can do that right there. We have another pick now, so I'm going to auto pick again, but this time I decide I want a central defender, so I can press this little button here. Central defender. Auto pick. So it should pick me an central defender, unless I've done it wrong. It's giving me Phil Jones. Wow. So if I decide I'm done here, I'm just going to go ahead and press finish picking. Tell it I'm done. It'll probably pick up the remaining players for the AIs. And then we'll have a quick look in the main game and see if anything has changed there. Okay, here we are. We've got through. The draft is giving me some extra players. The report bug button is still there for the beta. We can check the cup status. It's going to put me in the semi-final, and then either of us can be in the final against Dr. Benjy. But you can go in and change your tactics and everything as you would normally. You know, set up a tactic. This is all the same. You still have set pieces. You still have to set your captain. So we're going to go ahead and do that quickly now. And then let's go ahead and go to the team selection. You see a new skin here. So this is new. I'm going to go to the team selection. You can see opposition instructions are still not here. All the new changes within the tactics mode are here. So you can see, for example, the overlays there on the defensive width. Quick pick my team. Just put some players in. Here we are in the match. We get the team talk. As usual, we can go to the kickoff. And then you can see it's very much the standard FM affair now. You can make your regular changes, come and change your set pieces, your tactics, etc. No opposition instructions as last year. Hopefully they're not, you can't just make them appear. So there we are. That is the new FM22 Draft Mode with some big changes in there. I hope you liked it. Make sure you give this video a like if you did. Or well, you don't have to give this video a like if you didn't like the changes, but let me know what you liked and you didn't like down in the comments below. What would you like to see them improve next year, or maybe in the January update if they're particularly kind to us? They got Santiago Arias in goal. Must be someone else. No, they got Gabriel Arias in goal. You can catch me over on Twitch, where I will be doing a Roma save, twitch.tv/Symaggio. You can follow me over on Twitter at SymaggioFM. And make sure you come back next time, where I will be doing an FM draft mode tutorial video, show you how to actually set one of these up properly, the best settings to use. I've just conceded a goal to Tony Jameson. I won't tell him about this. Let's pretend it never happened. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye. Bye-bye.